data analytics and data visualization using advanced Excel. And the day before, the first day of our session was all about the introduction to the data analytics and data visualization, which was required for the field of research and even for the statistical data analysis. So today we will see the same data analysis and the data visualization with respect to a tool named as R. So we'll go with the contents with the basics which are required as we are starting up with a new tool today. So we'll start with the R basics and fundamentals. Then we go with the R data structures. And then we see how the data can be manipulated using this data manipulation techniques in R, where we have the huge data which is related to the statistical or probabilistic data or related to any of the domain which is of huge, which can be analyzed using this data manipulation techniques. And we try to plot the graph using the data visualization techniques in R. So today my goal is to understand or learn about the fundamentals of the R language. So when a language is introduced, we need to know when it comes to the computer related languages, we need to know why that language is, what is the use of that language, how does it different from other languages. So that's how we try to inculcate an interest or learning methodology of learning the new language. As being a computer science graduates, learning a language that is upgraded with the technology or day to day is very essential. So before getting into deep into the language, we need to know the basics about it. So I would like to start with the fundamentals of the R language with what is R. So when you talk about R language, why this language is being more popular and used by many of the companies or MNCs or by the research scholars or in the domain, the field of machine learning or anything is need to be known. So when coming to this, we can define this as, so R is defined as a free language. It does not require any of the license to be used. When you are downloading it, you can directly use it, where it creates an environment for the statistical computing and graphic data. So this is one reason why we go for R, and we can say what is R. So as it is a free language and open source language, also we can say it. The second thing is it is an interpreted language. When I say interpreted language, it interprets the code line by line, and with any bugs occur, we try to debug it at the same line and go with the execution of it. So this R is one of the interpreted language, and we also say this R as a modular language. When you say modular language, it is nothing but the functionality is in the form of add-on packages that is along with the R software or R Studio. So next, why do we need to use R? So when I say what is R, then the next question that we raise is, why should I use R? What is the need of using an R? As we have already described, an R is like a free language, modular language, and interpreted language. We can say this use of R is like, it is an open source, as we need not pay anything or we need not go for the licensed version of it, and many protocols or policies or within it to download or use it. It is very free to use with the open source tool. So we say that it is an open source language which supports the data analytics. So we can say this as one of the reasons why we use R. And one more thing, it is flexible. When I say flexible, in what way is it flexible? So in R, I can go with the analysis, I can go with the manipulation. I can go with the visualization. So multiple tasks can be executed within one, one place using one language. So that we can quote it as a main use of R. And we can also state why we need to use R is like it is defined as a statistical language. Or we can say that it is induced with a statistical tool that can analyze the statistical data that we have, and we can generate quality graphics using R. Graphics using R. So, and also add on to it, I can say it has a multiple huge number of packages, which is around 16,000 add-on packages within a R language or within the tool. So using these many advantages, we can say R can be used in order to analyze, manipulate, and visualize in the same place instead of going to different studios or different softwares to define different models or to attain different results. So this is the reason why we use R rather than going with any of the other languages. Even R can be used for getting the solutions for the machine learning techniques, as well as it is very similar to the working of a Python language. So next is how does R work? So this is one more important question that we raise when we are looking into a language learning process. See, these are the basic questions that a student may ask, or we ourselves question ourselves when we are learning with a new language. So in that regard, I have come up with these three questions like what is R, why we use R, and how does R work. So now when it comes to R working, I would like to go with a new process to make you understand such that it is easily understood by comparing it with any of the other language and know the benefits out of it. So here I'm taking up a graphical language and comparing it with the R language, how the data is being manipulated and visualized with respect to a graphical software and a R language. So here is our representations. When it comes to the graphical software, here we take up the statistical data that is analyzed and give the result of that analysis that we have made as an end result or as a endpoint result. But whereas coming to the R, we try to analyze, take the result, and again from the result we try to analyze the data and again give the result as a one point or one endpoint resulted in a single line. For example, we can perform 20 regression 20 regressions to compare this 20 regression coefficients So in this case, instead of getting the 20 regression compared results as different results, what R does is it estimates its coefficient and the result may be given in a single line. So here estimates its result. Estimates in a single line result. And also we can define everything in R is stored as an object. And supporting to that packages are supported for the execution. So everything is an object defined. Even a variable is defined as an object. A function is defined as an object and works according to the execution of the add-on packages with it. So when you look into it, So if you look into this, this is how the architecture, or I can say the framework of R works as. So here we have the functions and operators that are defined, which creates a data objects, and this in return gives an result objects for the data objects that we have created. But when it comes to the execution of it, the execution is derived or with the help of an hard drive, which is with the packages of functions derived in it, with the data files and plots of tables, etc. So this is how the R environment is created, and everything that we are defining within R Studio or R code that we are defining in it is defined as an object. So this is how we can say how R works, what is the need of R, and what is an R comparative with the other languages that are there, and why R has been more popular than all these languages. So coming to the installation of it. Okay.
Hello, madam.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
There is some disturbance in the background, madam.
Okay, sir. I will tell that, sir.
Okay.
So now?
And now it's okay, madam.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when you have come up with a language of anything, it might be C or C++ or Java or Python, we need a platform to write the code, or we say that platforms as an interfaces. So here it can be the text editors or IDEs or notebooks. So here to support R, we have an R Studio. So here I have pasted the same in the chat box where the participants can download the R Studio and go with the execution of the next hands-on sessions that we start up. So coming to so after installation of your R Studio, so I would like to show my screen. So I think it is visible. So the R Studio after installing looks like this, where it is divided into 4 compartments. The first compartment that we are able to see with the cursor is an IDE or the interface, where we write all the code that is related to R along with its syntax. Then here we have an environment to know how many number of variables we have created, what are the imported data sets that we have, and what are the add-on packages that we have used in order to execute the code within the studio or within the IDE. Then here down gives us the console of R. For what error, if any error occurs, we can look into the console and debug it within the code. And here we get the location, that is the path that we set for the files to be executed of the R that we are able to look in. So if you look into this, so this need to be set as a working directory, how we do it for all other systems. So here to do it, just go with this and go to the directory and set the path your files need to be stored. So here I have stored my path as E drive with FTP and said open. So where you can see these are the files that are currently in my directory of FTP, and this is the location where I want all my R files need to be stored and executed. So now one more question that you raise is, yeah, you have set the path, but is it the present working directory of this console or of this studio path? So that we have to set by going to more and set as a working directory. So when you look into it, you can see in the console it gives set WD, that is set working directory with the path that we have set. So my path that I have set is in E drive with the folder named FTP. Likewise, it is left to the participants where the path to be set. But I would like to repeat the setting of this working directory again. Please go to the last 3 dots, where it gives an labeling stating that go to the directory and select the directory or the folder that you want to set it as a path, and you see whether that path is been set or not, and check whether the same path is being derived for the location that you are working on by going to more, set as a working directory. So it should give the same path that we have set going with this go to directory, and here in the console as set WD. So this is how we are going to work with the RStudio and setting the current working directories. So this is what is my next slide talks all about setting and getting the working directory. So set a WD is nothing but set the working directory with the path, and get WD gives us the working directory that we are currently working on. So next, as all other languages has, we even here have the syntax rules that we have to follow. Not very much how we go with any other languages like C or C++. Here the rules are very minimal, but they are very effective, which may lead to the errors within the code. So in order to look into it, some are like R is a case sensitive. R ignores white spaces, so we need not worry about the white spaces that we define within our code. And here that we have to work is the variable name should always start with a letter. So that will be from the lowercase or the uppercase, capital A to Z or small a to Z. But this variable name can include with the digits that are ranging from 0 to 9 dot underscore. So how it's like, I can define my variable as variable underscore 01 equal to some value, but I cannot make it as 01a equal to value. So this is considered as an error by our console. But whereas this kind of declarations are entertained within the R. And now how to comment? Commenting is also possible within R, which we do it using an hash symbol. And as we know, the functions are always supported with a parenthesis. So if you look into the example, we have given it as ls of parenthesis, which gives a function named that is executed within R. So as we have gone with the syntax, so we will look into this part of the lecture going with the execution in the RStudio directly, where I would like to work and show you on arithmetic operators, variables, relational operators, and logical operators. Along with that, how to assign the assignment operators, then how variables are declared, how to execute our first R code using an sample program. So let me go with the RStudio directly. So here is my console. So first I would start with the simple execution of an hello world program, which is a basic program that we always work on in any of the programming languages. As like the other programming languages, it doesn't start with the predefined syntax that it has. You can directly go with the print statement. Here it is the same print of starting with the parenthesis. So we have to involve or include the value that is need to be printed within this as an argument. So which I included as hello world. And now how to execute. So the cursor need to be on the particular line, and we have to go with the run option, which will interpret our line and execute it successfully if it is error free. So go with the run. In the console, you can see the result of the code that we have written on the editor. So hello world is the result of it, and you can see a one within a square brackets in the console represented it as a vector. So here the result is displayed in a vector with the naming of 1. So this notation defines a vector. So here is how we first execute our first program. And then now I would go with the assigning a value with a variable name, or we take up a variable and we try to assign the value to it. So we do it using so I would take as it has defined with the syntax stating that it should always start with a variable named with an alphabet ranging from A to Z or small a to Z. So I go with the same as my underscore variable 01 as the name of the variable, and I would assign it using an assignment operator with some value. So here, as we have assigned it, we need to see whether it would be executed successfully or not after using an assignment operator. So I would go with run and see. Yes, it is successfully executing the variable with its value. I would like to print the same value using the variable named as my underscore variable 01 and try to run it. So if you look into it, you're able to see the value again with a vector displayed before to it as 1, and the value of my underscore variable 01 is defined as 18. So this is how we are using an assignment operator and assigning it with the variable. So next, in this part, we can also state that we are using the variables with the name of it. And coming to the variables, here we can define it in two ways. So the variables are defined as a static type and a dynamic type. Whereas in other languages like C and C++, it is a static type where we have to define it with the data type before to it. Whereas in our programming language, we need not predefine it before itself. We can define it at the time of use of it. So I go with the declaration of it as x is equal to 10. Sorry. X is equal to 10. So x is a variable name which is of valued 10. So here x is again defined as an object and value is assigned to it. So and it is going to define us with the value of it within itself as an integer type. So if I run it, it gives x is equal to 10. Now I would like to print the same with the value and provide it with a run. So I can see the value of x is 10. So likewise, I have some of the examples that I have defined here. So I would like to take it and execute it, where I have assigned x with an value, y with an value, and applying some operator between x and y, and print the value of z, which is assigned to the operation performed. So z gives the resultant of it. So to do it, I will just run the code. I will delete this. So run y, I will run x, I will run z with the value of x plus y, that is 18 plus 4. So which will give the value of z to be as 22. So again, I will even print z value separately, which again gives us as, when I print separately the z value, it is given as 22. If I'm again printing the z alone as a value, it is again printing the value as 22. So when you come to the environment of it, if you come into the environment, we can see what is the first assigned value of x. what is the next assigned value of X, then what is the Y value, and what is the operation that is printing to the Z value. So here is the resultant that is performed after the operation of X plus Y. So then we go with the basic data types that we have to know within R. So as we know, we are feasible with integer, and here it supports with the complex and logical and character type of data types. So along with this, I can directly execute with the numerical values itself, which gives the value of it as 22. 18 minus 4, I can perform all the arithmetic operators and the division operators, which are basically done directly without any defining of a static data type or the operator within it. So everything is given with the resultant of its operation performed. So I can also perform the modulus operator and the integer division operator for the data that we have within our data set or within our system. So how to use it is here. I have come up with the example. Where it executes it. So 14 mod integer division of 14 by 4, it gives the resultant of it. We can also perform with the float type of data and even with the negative values of it for performing the modulus operators between the values of it. So these kind of operations are directly performed in the R instead of going and predefining it using with the static type of data types and declaring it, putting it into a code and executing is a long process. Whereas in R programming language, we can directly use it whether using a variable, assign it with the value, or directly the numerals of it and execute it. So next, coming to the variable types. So I can get the variable type using the type function. So this type function defines what type of data or what type of value is defined for that variable. So let us look into this. So I will go with the type of X, that is X is assigned with the value of 18, which will give us what type of value it is, whether it is an integer type of value or whether it is an complex type of value or whether it is an logical type of value or a character type of value. So if you execute it, it gives us as a double. So in our language, instead of integer, it always gives us a double as its output. So the float also defines the same. If what is the mode? So if you look into the mode gives us it is a numeric type. So if I assign another variable, type of where and execute it, even for this it gives us as a office missing. So it gives us as a closure type because it is of float value which is defined as a closure type. So I have to know the mode of it, goes with the mode as mode of the variable, and if you run it, it gives us it is a function type. So this is not defining what kind of data is present within it, but it takes it as a function, pass it with the arguments in it. So now if you have to define a complex type of values, how do we do it. So here comes with the data types. So which will define the value, what the value is, and what is the class it belongs to. So it belongs to the numeric type. So it defines it as the numeric type of data that we have defined for the variable. So next I go and check it out whether it is an integer type data or other data. So I will again use for the float type of value. So where I have assigned x with 10.5, execute that value, know the class of it, and then it is an integer or not by using a true or false value. So if I run it, it states as a false. So again, let me run from the first value. 10.5 is given. X value is 10.5. It is of numeric type. And is dot integer. Is it a new integer value? No, it is a float type of value that we are going to cross verify using this is dot integer of x. So why we are going to all this type of data types and all those things are it requires when it comes to the data filtration and the data manipulation that we are going to see in this session. So then I would, how do you represent it? We generally represent it with the 10L, which is again gives us a resultant. Let us check it out. What will be the result of it? Run. It is of 10L. Value is 10, integer type, and is dot integer of x. Yes, 10 is a integer type of data. So when I'm checking out with using this is dot integer function, it says yes, the value that is assigned to the variable is an integer type. So this is how we check out with the data type, whether it is an integer type or complex type or any other. Let us check it out with the complex. You know, the complex values are always defined with so complex values are always defined with the integer plus imaginary value. So x is assigned with 3 plus 4i and printing that value, and we wanted to know the class of it. So to know the class of it, just run from the value it is assigned, then the value, then with the class of it. So here it defines with the class as a complex class. So these are the data types that we have to know when you are working out with the R. So to know the type of it, we go with the type of function with the variable or the value passed into it, then mode of it, then class of it, and is integer to know whether it is an integer type of data or whether it is a non-integer type of data. And to know the class to which it is belonged to, we can also use a class function with the variable passed in it. So next we go with the character type, how to declare a character type and how to know the character type. So we all know if it is within a quotations or inverted comma, single quotes or double quotes with the data in it, it is defined as a character type. Let us see whether it will execute it or not. Sorry. So A is assigned with a value named Jack, and we are trying to execute it. So if you look into it, we are able to execute the name and the value is printed as Jack, which is of character type of class. So let us see what type of class it defines it as. So if I look into it, it defines the class as a character type. So we can define like this, what kind of data types are it belongs to, because it is a dynamic type of data types, not as a static type where we define the data type before it is been assigned or declared. So this is one of the advantages of using an variable. So then we go with the next part is variable assignment. So when you come with the variable assignment, here we declare it with the three types of variable assignments. One is using an operator, one is using an equal to symbol, and the other one is or equal to operator. The other one is using an assign as a function. So here I would like to get all and execute it. So if you look into here, and this is nothing but using an operator, we are assigning it. So if you are assigning the value using an equal to, here we get the value of it directly and execute it. So this is one way of assigning the variable assignment using an assign operator. And here is the second type of assigning an variable operator using equal to. The third one here we use is using an assign function where we pass the parameters of the variable name, comma, the value that it has to handle. So I would execute it. So now assigned x equal to 30. Then we are here is with the assignment operator, then with equal to operator, then again reassigning that a value with another new value which is of 50 and trying to print that. So first we have assigned it with 10, then with 20, then finally assigned it with 50 value. The value which is of 50 is stored for the variable named a, not with 20 or 10. Now I can also assign first the value, then the variable name. In this way, how I have assigned it 60 with the assignment operator towards a alphabet or the variable name. So here is one more example that I would like to take. So multiple variables handling the same value where A tends to B, B assigned to C assigned to D, where the value is of 70, and we have the printing of that each individual variable here. So let us execute it. So assigning is done. Now I would like to get the output of A. A is 70, B value will also be 70, C value will also be 70, and D value is also 70. So such assigning of variables with the value is also possible under R programming. So we have predefined constants that we can use within R. So namingly they are, I'll show it in the notepad directly. Pi is one such predefined constant. Letters are one more predefined constant. The lowercase letters and the uppercase letters. And we also have month.name as one more constant and month.abb as the other constant. So let us see on execution of each of it, what would be the resultant. So how they are going to or how they are different. So from here, I am executing with the predefined constants, where the predefined constant is first with the pi. So let us execute it. So when I execute it, the p value should be 3.1415. So it is giving us the predefined value of pi. Here we are not assigning the value, but we have taken the function of pi and passing it to the variable of p, which gives the value as 3.141593. So likewise, assigning the letters to the Q and running it, it gives us the values of lowercase a to z. Then R gives the uppercase a to z with the constants. Then month.name gives us which month and name of that month. So see, so I am getting all the 12 months that are there within the calendar. Then ABB gives us the first 3 characters of the month as a resultant. So these are defined as in predefined constants in the R programming. So next goes with the relational operators and the logical operators. We know the relational operators will always have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and equal to. And the logical operators are with and, are, and not. So as the time is getting over, so I would directly come up with this and execute all the relational and relational operators. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me within this part, because we are very familiar about all these logical and relational operators. So I will not stress more on explanation of it. I will execute them by directly assigning it. So here we have assigned x with the value of 10 and y with the value of 20. And we are doing the comparison of it using the logical operators. So I will run the code and see. So is x less than y? Yes, true. The resultant would be true. X is greater than y? No. So the resultant would be false. So here the result would be always in the form of an true or false output, because here all the time it is taken as and operator and or operators are applied and given the result of it. So comparison of it is given where it gives us the result. Next comes with the, can we do the comparison of the characters or a string? Yes, it is even possible. So X is given as hello and Y is given as a program, and we have tried to execute it. It gives X less than Y. Here it compares with the positioning of the character that is there with H and P. So here, based on its position, it compares with the X and Y value and gives us the resultant as true or false. So here we have executed all the logical operators with respect to the X and Y, and the comparison of the same with the string values. So now let us look into the logical operators of the same. And this is very simple, which we do it with the programming languages. So X is assigned with true and Y is assigned with false, and we apply the AND operators and OR operators in between and check with the resultant how it originally works with the zeros and 0 and 0 and 1, 1 to 0 and 0, 1 to 1. So what will be the resultant? The same would be considered here and given it as a result. So true and false. So if you apply an AND operator for X and Y, the true and false will always be false. So the false and true will also be false. Whereas 0 and 0, that is true and true is true, false and false is true. This is the values that it considers and gives us the resultant as. So the next is our operator is applied. So anything, if it is true or false, it gives us a true value. So this would be the logical operators that we apply for the variables that we have. So the next would be with the data manipulation. So these are the primary requirement or the fundamentals that are required to support the filters that we use it with the data manipulation, which would be in the next session of your part. And then with this basic knowledge, you can go and plot the statistical program or the statistical graphs with the data sets that we already have, which is the salary database, which would be defined and explained by Sir. So if you have any doubts, you can ask now. And thank you for this session.
What's the difference calculator? What's the how to find the type of class, all those things. So which is necessary for data manipulation. With this basic knowledge, we'll start how to manipulate the data. That is much required for, especially for researchers. So those who want to do data analytics, how to analyze the data set, all those things. This session may be more useful. So I may not take much time just for telling again the operator assignment, all those, which is already done. So directly I'll go to the data manipulation and how to go ahead. Is my voice clear? Can I know the spot?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I'll just share the screen. First of all, I'm thankful to the management of Chalapathi Institute of Technology for giving this opportunity to me. So since you have exam at 12 o'clock, I will try to complete at the earliest. So I request all the participants, please use this opportunity, because most of the people who are doing research in data mining or machine learning. So however, we are not dealing with machine learning today's class. So if the institute gives opportunity, the next we can go ahead. So today I'm just telling how to manipulate the data, means how to analyze the data set, or how to use the Teddy layer package or dplyr package. And finally, if time permits, I will just tell you how to use the data visualization. Okay. I think the screen was shared.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I will just open the tool. So as madam told, I don't want to tell again the steps, what is that, the structure of the R tool, as madam has clearly told you. There are 4 compartments. So mainly we are dealing with the environmental variables here. And also we want now here plots. You can see the second part, that is files, plots, packages, help and viewer is available. So now you should know the first 2, what you call that features. One is the files, where we need to set the data set, or what you call directory. The second one is the plots. So whenever you plot any graph, it may be a line graph, bar graph, pie chart, histogram, based upon your research. So it will just display here, that gives some analytics to you. So first I will set the data, that is a directory, as madam told. You can just click on it, the 3 directories. I will just set my path. As per your requirement, you can set your own path. So I'm just going to my courses in the FTP. So as ma'am told, you can set your own directory as per it. So you can see here all the files that are available in that particular folder. So once you set, you need to set the directory. So there is a more option. You can go as a set as a working directory automatically. Otherwise, you can manually type in the command section, that is set working directory. You can set your path as per your requirement and then just click enter automatically. If you want to confirm whether that directory is set or not, you can just go for get working directory. You can just type get wd, open and close, and then click enter. It will show the path where you are presently working. So I mean, because whenever you're dealing with data analytics, the data sets what you are using should be placed in this directory only. Here you can see the right side, I have placed a few data sets which is used for my research, like KDD data set, salary data set. So this is very important. So sometimes what you people will do, somewhere the data set will be there and your working path may be somewhere different. So surely it will give that particular data set is not found. So I recommend you, please place all your data sets which you want to work out in the single folder or directory and see that you are working in the same directory. So with this, I will directly go to the data manipulation. Just open 1 or 2 slides I will tell, then I will go for hands-on. So while explaining about the data manipulations, I am not taking care of all those operators, variables, functions, as madam has clearly explained. I will directly tell the filters how to apply. So here I am going to tell about dplyr package, which is mainly based upon the data manipulations. So we have a number of features in dplyr package, which is used for data analytics. So the dplyr package is mainly used to transform as well as to summarize the tabular data. That is, we are dealing with rows and columns. Sometimes what happens, you need to use only a particular tuples in your data set. I think hope so that everyone knows how the data set looks like, CSV file. So in that you want to filter only a specific values you need to check, or specific columns you need to know. So at that time this dplyr package is most useful. So here I'm going to explain the basic features like filter, select, arrange, and also pipeline. So the filter function is mainly used for filtering the data by choosing particular rows. So sometimes you need to know to fetch only a specific amount of rows. At that time, you can apply what is known as filter function. Sometimes you need to select based upon the columns. You need to know some columns are some descriptive features. Whenever you are mapping descriptive features with a target feature for research, so you need to know which features are best, which features are not, how it is strongly correlated. At that time, the select function may helpful to you. So you can just filter out which are the features you need. And we have an arrange function that is helpful for ordering. So sometimes you need to order based upon the rows, based upon the columns. At that time, arrange function may be helpful. And lastly, we have what is known as pipeline. So this is mostly useful whenever you want to redirect. Sometimes you need some function, something you have done using your data set, and you need to put it into some functionality. You are calling some, at that time, this pipeline function may be very useful. So there is some shortcut whenever you want to use this pipeline filter or a function in your functionality, then you can just type control plus shift plus M. No need to type every time that module right side again, the module operator, all is not needed. Just you can type control shift M, that will automatically generate this pipeline filter. That I will tell you during the hands-on. So these four, there are still a number of functions like rename, delete. So it's because of time constraint, I am not going to all this. So these are most generally used features for research. That's what I am dealing with, only these three things. And here we are also dealing with some. So this deployer function is mainly deals with four important features. One is known as filtering, that I will tell. One is known as selecting a particular row or a column. Mutating. This mutating is nothing like combining. Sometimes you need to combine one or two tuples in order to get the result. Like if you want to calculate the speed, then you need to know what is the distance and what is the time. So you need to calculate and you'll get the result like that. Sometimes the research needs the manipulation. That is what clubbing of two or more tuples to get the new result. At that time, we are going what is known as mutation. Sometimes you need to summarize. If you want to know the result of all the values that you got, so summarize function may also helpful to you. So I will try to deal all these things in the today's session. So directly I will go to a hands-on. I don't want to waste my time because of critical part, as ma'am has told already clearly on these things. So directly you can go to the tool. So however, I don't know whether you have the data set with you or not. However, I am going to take the data set which is already available in the tool. 1 second. Slow. Read that data set using a read.csv file. You can just type read.csv and then you can write your data set name. So however, I am taking the data set which is already available in the R tool, which is pre-installed. So first I will install the deployer packages. So I am not typing because of time constraint. Directly I am copying and pasting. So this is the syntax. Just you can type install.packages. In the bracket, you can write the package name which you need to install. So either you can do like this, or there is one feature known as tools at the top right corner. You can type under tools. You can type install packages. Then you can just type the package name which you want to install, like a dplyr or pidlyr, whatever you want. So here you can see. And then you can type, click on the install. So automatically that deployer package will be installed. So however, I am going in this technique. So install.packages deployer. So just you click on the run. So it will just install all the packages. So if you are already installed the tool, so better you can be hands-on with me so that it becomes easy for you. If you get any doubt, you can ask me so that I can clarify there only. So here the package is installed. Once the package is installed, you should read all the libraries of that package. You can just type library and then you can pass the package name which you want to know. So this is what library, the package, deployer package. And then click on the run. Automatically all the libraries that are related to deployer package will be installed. So however, I've installed, so it is masked here. So if you are installing first time, then automatically all the packages will be installed. It takes a maximum 1 or 2 minutes. Once all the packages have installed, then you can go for reading your dataset. I told now, if you have already the dataset or any CSV file which you are using for your research, then you can use this command, that is read.csv. Hope so you can see, and then you can pass the dataset name. I'll just show you here. Here you can see read.csv file or read.table file or read. Whichever the file you can just type it here. Normally we use the CSV file only. So you can read the data set, like I have like salary data, whichever the data set you are using, you can use. And then you can pass it into some variable, means you can redirect, and you can store it into some my data set. Whatever you can type, it's not a matter. And then you can start working. So that's what, if you have any data set with you. Otherwise, if just you are learning, then you can install or you can read the data set that is already available in the R tool. So we have few data sets that R tool has released just for learning sake. So we will take one among that is known as flights. So there is one package already available in the data set. So I am just installing that package. So if you don't want, I told now you can just read your own data set and you can work it out. It's not a matter. So you can just, if you want to install any package that is already available in the R tool, just you can type install that packages, same syntax what I told here. And then the package name is, this is New York flights, one of the data set that contains of details of all the flights, like flight name, the manufacturer, date, year, the where it will go, the distance coverage, all those things. So just you can type install that packages. The package name is New York flights 13. So this is not the new package what I have taken. It is already available in the R tool. Just you can type click on the run button. So it will just install all the packages. So I recommend all the participants, if you have R tool, you can go along with me so that it will be helpful for you. So all the packages have been installed in some path which is shown here. So once the installed, then I should call the library. This is the common procedure. Once the package has been installed, then automatically you have to include the library object. Sorry. Just you can type library. Library, and then you can pass the package name of that particular library. Same thing, what I did up, same thing I'm doing, and then you can run it. So it will install all the, it will load all the library files. Website has loaded. Now, if you want to check what are all the descriptive features are there for this York flight sets, that you can use the view command. Please keep in mind whenever you're using the view command, the first letter should be V. As ma'am told already, the R tool will have the case sensitivity for all the variables. Please see that the first letter should be capital. So VIEW, view, and then pass the package name for flights. So that is my all flight details will be available here. This I'm weaving what that the data set contains, flight data set. Hope so that you can see here, automatically an object is created for this and you can display, it has displayed all the flight related data here. You can see it consists of year column, that is descriptive feature, month, what is the date is traveling, what is the departure time, scheduled departure time, departure delay, arrival time, it may be anything. So if you are using your own data set, that data set will be automatically displayed here. Scheduled arrival time, you can see all the values. How many features we have in CLET? There are almost, I think, some 70,000 plus is there, very good data set. So these many parameters are available, or instances are available. So hope so that you can view this. So now you can apply the data manipulation on this data set. Okay. So however, I am going to tell few which I told declare all those. Okay. So sometimes what happens, you want to check only the first things. There is one option on his head, and you can use the flights, same thing. want to check only the top 10 to 15 instances, then you can use the head feature. It will just display some 6 top features like year of manufacturer, month, day, departure time, schedule time, all those things. This is also one of the features that is available. If you want to check only the part of the data set, the features that are available. Okay. So with this, we will go for some filtrations. So as I told you, in declare package, we have filter, arrange, group by, mutate as per your requirement. You can use that. However, I'm going for filtering. I want to filter. Okay, use the command known as filter is the feature that we have. And where you want to filter on the flights data set, you can pass the argument as flights, comma, what you want to filter. I want to check all the flights that are moving in the month of 8 or 8th month, whatever it may be. So just I will store it into some variable. Sorry. I can store it as some filter 1. Hope so everyone is following. So use the option known as filter and then pass the parameter. The first argument will be the data set, that means what the object filters the flights. In that flights, I want to just display all the flights which are moving in the month of 8. So this is what the equal operator. So just you run it. Okay. So the result will be stored in the F1. You can see here the variable already F1 is stored. If you click here, you will get the result. But still, I want to display here itself. Just I will click F1. What is the result? I want to know only the flights that are moving in the month of 8. Just to click on the run. Here you can see all the flights that are moving in the month of 8. It is coming. Or you can see here also. Here it is displayed. If you want to go for head, you can view. If you want to can view this F1, you will get only the flights of that particular view. You can see here. You can go for view of F1. It will just show the flights that are moving in the month of 8th August. Just I will run it. You can see here all the flights that are moving in the month of 8th. You are getting the data. So in this way, you can filter as per in the month or day as per your requirements. As per your research, you can go ahead. So even you can go for multiple filtration sometimes. Okay, what I mean to say, I will go for one more example. So I am not typing because of time constraint. You can type it. So again, I am going for filtering flights. Okay, the first argument should be your data set, object flights, and just filtering all the flights that are moving in the month of 9th. Second day is 2, and the origin is some LGA, some destination. So that's what you can even pass the multiple parameters in the filter in order to filter multiple arguments at a time. So even you can run it. I will just store it into some variable like F2. Whatever you want, you can do it. It's not a matter. And I will just run it. So automatically, one second. Just give me a minute. Just okay, there is some error. So here now what I did, I am just filtering from the flights data set. I want to know all the flights that are going in the 9th. Day is 2, second day or whatever, and the origin is the destination is LGA. So this is some destination. You can see the data set, which are all the destinations are available, and then I'm going to run. So I will just display now F2. Either you can go for F2 directly, or you can go for view. I will just directly display F2. So you can see all the flights that are going in the month of 9th with the day 2, and the origin is LGA. So here you can't see. So better I will go for view function because I should manipulate it. Sorry. Always try to use the view that will give you the correct object. View of F2. and automatically it will give you the data set here. So capital spelling mistake is there. I'm sorry once again. VIEW. Please be careful whenever you are typing the function name, because there may be sometimes you may use small VR. Please see that and then go ahead. So you can see here, it is displayed all the flights that are moving in the month of 9th, what we filtered in the day 2, and also the destination is, what's the destination we have given, VGA something. Where is the destination parameter? You can just check it. Yeah, here, the origin. So it's not a destination, it is origin from where it is moving, that is LGA. Similarly, you can filter for destination also. If you want, you can use like MCO. If you want to filter, you can just type there, automatically it will filter with MCO. So that's what you can do your own action. Here you can write if you want DES equal to MCO, automatically that will be filtered. So in this way, you can analyze the data of filtering as per your requirement. Sometimes what happens, no need to, this is extra time we are writing. Directly you can print it also. You can view. What I mean to say, you can directly type view instead of wasting the time. You can just type view and then you can pass this complete filter in that. That is also possible. Here you can see. So that may reduce the number of instructions as well as the time in order to execute it. So what I am doing, I am immediately filtering my data and then I am going to view it within a single command. That can also be possible. So here you can see same thing what I have filtered here, like filter in the flights in the month of 9, day as 2, origin as LGA, and then immediately instead of again putting it to some variable, directly I am viewing it. That is also possible. Even it will show the same result where we are just reduce the number of instructions. So instead of placing it into one more variable and then reading that variable and then printing, directly we have viewed it. So this is somewhat a good programming where you can write in a single line 2 to 3 instructions and you can get the data. So similarly, here one more, same thing like this, you can work on your own. All the filtrations which I told, weaving, head. So here one more you can see what I have done here. So here, this all I will delete it a little bit. So should I increase the font? Is it okay, participants? Sir, is it visible now?
Sir, in Zoom it is visible, sir. But if you increase the font, it would be better.
Yeah, no problems.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to increase, you can go to tools. There is one global options. You can just click on it and you can go to somewhere you can get appearance. Yeah, here appearance. Here, if you want, you can use increase your. If anyone is having some problem with the font, so when you are working, there also you can increase it to some 14. But see that don't go to a higher font because the compartment space is somewhat less there. I will go to some, and then you can apply and you can go ahead. I think it's fine, sir, now, because if I increase more font, no, it will not come in a single line instructions. Again, there will be some confusion.
It's fine now.
Yeah. Okay. Once viewed, you can even go for head. Means I want to display here itself the sample data. Here you can see the flights. Same thing. This is the object in the flights. But whenever you're using multiple things, you should use the argument, this dollar symbol, which can point to the first column. This dollar symbol indicates the pointing of particular tuple. So I'm just pointing to the month. So I'm just displaying only the head, only those columns. Which columns? The first column that is matching with the 9th. And so as Madam told, now I am applying the operators here and operator. So previously what I did, it is displaying all the data, which is having the month 9, day 2 and origin LGA. But now what I'm doing, sometimes you need to filter the month, the flights which are moving in the month of 9th and also the day 2. Means I'm applying the AND operator. Whenever you use the AND operator, you know that both the conditions should be satisfied, and also the flights which are originating at LGA. So here I use just the AND operator to filter. So same output you may get, I think, here, but the condition I use this, and all things should be satisfied. All flights should go in the month of 9th. The day should be 2, and then the origin should be LGA. If you want, you can put one more parameter like flights dollar of destination or flights dollar of month, what year. So just it is a sample. You can write any number of arguments. There is no restrictions. So and then you can go for execution. You will see the head. I told already the head here. It will just display the sample of rows from the top 5 to 6. I'll just run it. Here you can see same output, but I used using the head command. Here you can see all the flights that are going in the month of 9th with the date 2. So along with that, the origin that is having LGA, since I use head, it will give a sample. If you want, you can go for viewing of this. Immediately you can use view here also, not a problem. You can directly use capital V, again I tell it, view of this, which will just give you the complete data set that are having applied the filter on it. So this gives the details of all the flights that are going in the month of 9th, the day 2, as well as the origin is LGA. So as per, that's what this is the data set that is already available. But for your research, whichever the data set you are using, so how you want the result. So based upon that, you can apply the filters accordingly, and you can go ahead. So this is something about the filter command. Now we will go to the next command, that is slicing. So here slicing is nothing but you selecting the rows by particular position. So you want to get only 10 rows or 20 rows. You don't want more, because those rows only matching with the destination, means there is a strong correlation between these rows with the destination. So during that time, you can go for slicing of data. So just you can use this slice command for that, or slice function, or a feature, whatever you can call. So here you can see I'm just using this slice. From the flights data set, I need to know only 10 rows, 1 to 10. Just if you run it, you can see the first 10 rows will be displayed here, 1 to 10. This is what we call it as slicing of data. So there may be some 68 to 70,000 instances are there in this data set. I need to know only 10 or anything it may be, like 1 to 100 if you want, we can go ahead. This is what we call it as slicing of data. I will just make it as 1 to some 50, because if I go for 100 again, it may not be. You can see here, so 1 to 50, or you can view it better. Or I can go for, that's what it's not showing much. Just slicing of data, not more than that. You can see here. So that's what you can see the data set that is divided, and only the first 20 instances have been displayed. Like that, you can slice the data as per your requirement, just for analysis. Instead of opening the data set again and again and then watching, here only you can work it out. This is what slicing command. So sometimes this may be helpful for you in order to slice the data, in order to check only the limited number of rows that you want to check. So next we will go to one more feature known as mutate, very important feature. Sometimes what happens, you need to know to club one tuple with the other. Example I told you, if you want to find the velocity, you need to know the speed and the distance. At that time, what you will do, you will take the help of two tuples and then you are combining it by giving this some formulas. At that time, this mutate function will be helpful. So this mutate function is mainly used for adding the what you call that new column. So previously slicing is just used for displaying, but mutate function is mainly used for adding new rows. In the filter, what you have done, you have just filtered the existing data set, either by selecting the number of tuples or filtering only the number of rows by giving some conditions. But mutate function, the specialty is you can add a new column. For example, see here, I am using the mutate function again here. Here flights is the data set or the object which I created. So from these flights, so for example, you see which are all the features available in flights. I will just open once again this flights data set. You can see here. In the flights, we have like some descriptive features like year, month, day, departure. Somewhere at the end, you want to add one more column. For your research, you need to know one more feature to be added. So at that time, this mutate function may be very useful. You can just write the mutate where you want to add in the flights data set, the flights object. So you can give the name of that column or the tuple which you want to add, new tuple, and give it as new. So and then apply the formula. The formula which I used is arrival delay minus departure delay. So as per your research, which are your example, I don't know, you want to add like velocity, a new column. For that, what are the formula you want or what are the features you need? You need the speed and time. Example I'm telling. Then you can apply velocity new tuple is nothing but equal to speed into time. So speed column and time column will be multiplied and the values will be added into new tuple by name new. So here also same thing I have did. Arrival delay is one of the tuple we have in our data set and departure delay is also one more data set which are available. I am just minusing. So automatically the values will be added into new tuple by name new and it will be added at the end. Just I will show you here. So a tuple has been added. So if you want to know whether that is added or not, again you can view the flights data set, view of flights. Let's run it. And you want to check whether this new tuple has been added or not. Within that is what NEAW. That is what and what the values will be present there. Arrival delay minus departure delay. Some example I have taken here. If you want, you can write whatever you want. It's not a matter as per your research. I'll just view it now. Again, I made a spelling mistake. Sorry. View and then just run it. Now you can see what is the formula I have given. Just I have given it as arrival minus departure. No. So here there is a departure time and here there is an arrival time. Okay. Both have applied minus. What are the resultant value? I am storing it in the new. Okay. 1 second. I will just close all the data because here multiple sets I have opened. Because of that, I'm unable to see which is a new one. So view of flights. So this data set with the new addition of tuple, that is delay, is stored in new. So better I should go with the new. So this is the new variable which is storing the new data set that consists of tuple new. So just I will run it. Yeah, now you can see here. At the end, a new value or a new tuple has been created that contains the value which is nothing but arrival time minus delay time, whatever it may be, whatever the formula you have given, that is present here. This is the formula you can see. Arrival delay minus departure delay. The name of that is given as new tuple name as new, and it is stored it in variable new. So I have just viewed that new, which you got. So in this way, whenever you are doing research, if you want to add new tuples in your data set, you can go ahead and you can add it. So this is known as mutate function. So by this, I think you have learned how to install the packages. Either you can go for tools install package or directly you can type the command as install that package. Once you install the package, please see that you have to use the libraries of that package, and then you know how to use the view now. So please see that the first letter of that view should be capital V, and you can view it, what are the data present in the data set. And if you want to view only the specific amount number of rows, then you can use the head. Okay. Then I told you how to filter using the filter feature. Here you can apply the number of commands or arguments as per your requirement, and you can go for filtering. And I also shown you how to use multiple features, V1 filter in a single line. That may save your time and other thing. And here I told you how to use, what is the use of this dollar symbol. Whenever you are pointing to a particular column or a tuple, please see that you should use the dollar. That will indicate that particular, or that will point to that particular tuple. And then I told you about slicing, which may be helpful for you just to view a slice of data, how much it is present. And then very important, I told you about mutate. So this mutate will help you to add the new tuple in your data set. Now we will see one more feature, that is a summarize. Summarize is mainly helpful. You have done all the research in the data set. You have found the result. Then you want to know the complete summary. So when you want to know the complete summary, we have a feature known as summarize that will give you the complete picture of what are all the activities that you have done. So now we will try to learn about the summarize command. Here you can see the summarize is the command that we are using. So I am applying the summarize in the flights itself, where I am finding the mean of the data. So that's what, as per your research, whatever the manipulations that you are doing, you can do, but this is just a sample. So here what I am taking, I am just taking the mean of that air time. And this is very important because sometimes what happens in your data set, there will be some NA. Sometimes the data may not be there. Some not applicable data will be there. Always say that this should be a habit. NA, wherever it is, I am just removing it. RM equal to true. So wherever there is an any row, by mistake, if the column is not filled or if there is any chunk value, so automatically that will remove it. Only the correct value it will be taken. So it will just find the mean of this value, arrival time, which will be stored in the arrival air time. So we'll get the mean and it will summarize the complete mean. I'll just run it. Here you can see the value. This is the mean of that arrival air time. Okay, average air time mean. So in this way, as per your research, you can apply the formula and you can get the values. So here one more, if you want to find the sum, with just a sample, again I'm telling, as per your requirement, you can use the formula, you can go ahead. So here you can see I am just finding the sum of the arrival time, and this is compulsory because sometimes, as I told now, there will be some tuples which is filled with NA, not applicable data, automatically it will be removed. So here I am finding the sum of all the arrival times. Here you can see the sum of total arrival time is some value. So this data I already have done it, not to waste time. So just I am showing you how the data will be available. So here I am finding the standard deviation. So here I have found the mean, sum, standard deviation. In this way, sometimes for research we need the standard deviation, or sometimes we need mean in order to see the correlation, how it is happening for the descriptive features and the target features. At that time we need mean, sum, standard deviation, all those things. At that time, these things can be done by the researcher in order to get the data. So this will give the standard deviation. So in this way, you can use the summarize feature. So summarize feature is just used for getting the complete sum of your data. Okay. So with this, we have learned about summarize, mutate, slicing, and then filtering, all those. And there is one more function known as group by. Sometimes what happens, you want to display all the flights that are grouped by year. So here I will try to take one more data set in order to explain the group by function. That is known as empty cars, that is manufactured cars. So here you can see I am taking one more data set known as empty cars. One more data set, and I will just check what are all the things are there in empty cars. Okay, I'm just taking one more small data that contains some values. So empty cars is nothing but what it will contain all the manufactured date, all those things. I will just see what are the things are there. Here you can see. So this is the empty cars which is already predefined in our R tool that consists of MGC, what is the cylinder capacity, what is the dispatch. Even I too don't know. Even the mechanical engineer should know all these descriptive features. What is the gear power, something is there. So this is one of the tests. So if you want to group based upon, sometimes what happens, some people wants what is the mileage or what is the gear capacity. At that time they can group it as per their requirement. So here if you want to group, there is one command known as group by. So I'll just take this one. So here we need what is known as pipeline command is useful. Already I told you, if you want to use the pipeline command, you can just type control shift and then M. Here you can see what I did. I have just taken this empty cars, which is my data set, and that empty cars I am pipelining. So I told you this you can get just by typing control shift and then M. Automatically that the pipeline command will come. So what I am doing, that empty car data set, so this part, this empty cars what we have, I am just passing it into one more function known as a group by, and I am just grouping by gear. Here we can gear, we have no 433. It will just group the complete data set empty cards by gear. So normally in DBMS we are using group by student SRN or group by student result, like that, whatever it may be. So here I am grouping the entire data set with the gears. So just I will run it. Here you can see the complete data set has been grouped with the help of gear. Or you can even weave it. You can just pass it into some variable and then you can go for weaving of that. Or you can use the head. Head will give you some specific value. If you use view, that will give you more better. If you want, you can just try it. I'm placing the result into some gear. I'll just display that to you. I'll just check it. I don't know whether it will come in. Because that's what an object gear is not possible. Let it. So in this way, you can apply the group by command and you can place all the values based upon a particular grouping technique. Okay. Next, we'll go for arranging. Sometimes what happens, you need to arrange or you need to sort it. So based upon the some specific value. So we have a command known as weaving, that is arrange. So again, I will go to our normal flight data set and then I will try to arrange something. Here you can see I'm just arranging all the flights based upon year and departure time. Example I'm taking. If you want, you can arrange it based upon the manufacture date or based upon the origin. If you want to move to London, so you can just arrange all the flights based upon the London. You can just type here it as destination is equals to London. Then it will display all the flights with the destination as London. Okay. Here I will just run it. Okay. So it is as arranged. Better I will place it into some object. Variable I will try to place it. Like I will take like 7 because I already have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, all those things. Next I will weave it. So you can do it hands-on whenever as per. So here you can see now all the flights are sorted based upon the year and departure time. If you see the year, you can see here it is completely sorted 2013. Like that it will go. I don't know, down. You can see all are 2013 only here. There is no sorting here. And one more is departure time. You can see the departure time. Here you can see the departure time is 1 year. If you see down, there will be something like 2, 3, 30, 31, 32. So this is what your departure time that is going on. So in that way, you can apply the arrange or sorting technique as per your requirement, and you can sort it all the values. So sometimes it needs it whenever you are plotting the bar graph. So the value should be in a sorted order. Then it will give a clear picture. So during that time, this arrange feature may helpful to you. Okay. So that's what. So this is the thing which I need to tell. I want to tell. Here we have learned almost 8 to 9 techniques just for data manipulation. Once again, I'm telling here. I told you how to install the packages and how to use the libraries. Then I told you about what is the use of that view and head command. Then I told you about filters, how to apply. And then I told you about slicing of data based upon your requirement. You can slice a few rows and columns as per your requirement. Then I told you about mutate function, which is very, very important. Whenever you want to add a new column to your data set, you can go for mutating. Then I told summarize. So this is normal way. Whenever you want the complete information regarding any data set which you have done the results, you can go for that. And then I told you about arrange, means sorting. So you can arrange or sort the complete data set based upon a specific value or specific descriptive feature. Example I told you here I am using year and departure time. As for your data set, you can go ahead. So with this, we have understood the deployer function. Now I will try to show you some visualization part, how to plot the bar plot or pie chart or box plot, or you can go for the scatter plot. So different researchers may like different plots. So as per your requirement. So now I will try to take my own data set, which I use it for my research. As I told you, you can, so if you have your own data set, you can take it So I am not taking the data set which is already available. So I will take my own data set, which I use it for my thing. So as I told you, you can read the data set using the read command. So there is a read.csv. And this data set which I use is salary data. It consists of, I think, 3 descriptive features. One is employee name, how much salary is getting, and what is his age. We will read it, it's not a matter. So this is the method that you need to read the CSV file. Please have one thing in mind. This data sheet should be present in your directory that you are going to work. So here you can see, like I said, already the data set is available, salary data. So if you want, you can view it. I will just view it. This is the data set contents where it consists of years, experience, and salary. 3 descriptive features I have. That's what. Please see that data set should be present in your directory where you are going to work. So once you read, you can see the data set is stored in the variable data. Now I will view it. I will just go for view of that data. Please see that again and again I am telling, whenever you are viewing, the first letter should be capital V. As ma'am told, it is case sensitive, you may get error. So view of that data. Now it will show my own data set. Till now we have used the data set related to flights. Now I am taking the data set related to salary data set. Yeah. One second. Here the data set. One second, please. And just close all the data. If there is a spelling even in the data, salary data, something spelling is there also, surely it will not display. Please see that the data set name which you are giving should be correct. If any error comes, I will reload because already I am working with one data set. There may be some crash may occur. Yeah, there is some error. One second. One second. Yeah, that's what. Whenever you get error, please see that what is error. You can go. The specialty of this R tool is at the down. You can see clearly what type of error it was, and even it will give the solution also. So here you can see the data set consists of 3 descriptive features. One is serial number that you can see, year of experience. So that particular employer is having what is the age, so how much experience he is having, and also how much salary is going to draw. So now I want to plot it. So a simple data set I have taken in order to use, just you can write plot. So this is used for plotting the line graph. Just a simple plot I am doing. Plot of the data. This is my data set now. And we can run it. You can see the plot, the line graph has been applied. Just like a scatter plot is looking, where we have the x-axis is the year of experience and the y-axis is salary. So here you can give the labeling also. So if you want any label, I will just take this plot only. So here you can see the complete plot I have given. Plot, I am just taking my data set, which is nothing but data. I am just pointing to first variable or first tuple known as year of experience. You should use the dollar symbol as a tool, and you should use the tilt operator whenever you are taking the multiple columns at a time. This is my data, okay, salary data, and I'm using some label of X label as A. This X label is nothing but label for X. This is the label for Y, and this is the main label. So if you are confused, I will just type one by one. That makes you still better. So let's see the features we have. Salary and salary. Just running it. So here we got data as salary. This data you can remove it. Just have you can extract it. The data. Yeah. Here you can see salary and experience. Now I want to label. If you want to give some X label as something different, you can use like X LAB labeling for X. I can name it as your wish. I will label it as some X only, and you can run it. You can see the label has been changed to X. Similarly, you can name it as Y label. Y axis what you want as per your research. Y label, which is equals to Y, and you can run it. You can see the Y axis has been changed to Y here, right hand side part. And if you want to give the name of this plot as main is nothing but it will give the title for the whole chart. I can give like FTP something in the bracket. I can give. You can give as FTP. It will give the title of that particular chart. You can say at the top FTP. In that way, you can plot the scatter plot. So sometimes if you want to plot like a bar chart, this you can type it as bar plot. Okay, everything is same, syntax is same. Only the thing is you should name it as bar plot because we have the predefined function here, and then you can run it. You can see here a bar plot has been displayed where we have the x-axis is the years of that particular and y-axis will be the like that. Similarly, you can go for typing the histogram. If you want histogram, just you can type it as HIST. Then it will give the histogram of your chart. 1 second, I think it is HIS. X must be a numeric. One second. Because histogram needs something different value. Just type this one. Even if you want, you can go for changing of colors. Yeah, this is what histogram. Just you can use the word as HIST or bar chart or bar plot, all those things. So in the histogram, you can see the coloring also. Here, if you want, you can change the color also. Instead of blue, you can do red, and then you can try to get red color like that. As per your requirement, you can go ahead. So the basic thing is the first argument should be your data set object. Next is your descriptive features, salary, and then only salary I have taken here. And then labeling of X is A. Here you can see the A is there. The labeling of Y is B. You can see B here. And the main given as A, B. If you want, you can change as per your requirement. I don't know. FTP is Y1, so just write as FTP. And the color is some red. And then you can run it. Here it is changed to FTP. In this way, you can plot the graphs as per your requirement, and you can go ahead. So this is what I need to tell. So hope so that all the participants